Hello everyone and welcome to our OPV 222 presentation. We have chosen theme 2, applying the principles of inclusive education to create a supportive learning environment in a classroom. We will first be looking at what is inclusive education, and then we'll be moving on to the principles of inclusive education and how to create a supportive learning environment. What is inclusive education? To put it in simple terms, inclusive education is all children in the same classes, in the same schools, despite their differences and challenges. These differences can include ethnicity, gender, faith, disabilities, or sexual orientation, which should be celebrated and respected by others. Inclusive education is an approach to teaching and learning that aims to provide equal opportunities for all learners, regardless of their abilities and disabilities. Inclusive education is more than special needs and disabilities. It focuses on and embraces the learner's differences while encouraging equality and collective belonging. Every child has the right to be in the mainstream education system. It is believed that at some stage, all learners will need some kind of support regardless of their challenges. We have 8 principles of inclusive education, but we will only be focusing on 4. We will be focusing on the principle of equal opportunities, 2, the principle of uniqueness, 3, the principle of acceptance, and 4, the principle of relevance. Principles of equal opportunities. The principle of equal opportunities is that every child, regardless of their race, background, and gender, should have access to equal educational opportunities. How to implement it? Make sure that the learners have the same access to materials and resources. Provide the necessary equipment for all the learners, such as resources and necessary accommodation. For example, providing additional time for students who need it. Principle of uniqueness. Every child is unique and has their own strengths and weaknesses. A teacher should encourage and embrace the uniqueness of each child. How to implement it is to encourage the learners to express what makes them unique, their dreams, their goals, their skills, anything that they have a sense of pride with. Set realistic goals for every learner. Use positive reinforcement to allow the students to stay motivated. Principle of acceptance. This principle states that all learners feel valued, accepted, and welcomed in the classroom. These learners should be encouraged to participate fully in the learning process. How to implement it? Teachers should get to know their learners' interests to properly accommodate for all their learners' needs. Educate learners about their peers with these disabilities to create awareness. Ensure all materials and the physical layout is accessible for all learners. Promote a safe environment where there is respect and empathy for learners who have disabilities and who struggle. Use different forms of instructions and use supportive aids. Principle of relevance. This relates to how teachers should be able to select content that is relevant to the learners. Many learners have different learning styles. Some learn by observing and some by experimenting. How to implement it? By knowing the learners. It would be easier to understand their learning style. Relating the content to real-life situations where the learner is able to create links to their real world. Use different teaching methods to accommodate all the different learning styles, like hands-on experiments, field trips, and group work.